Hey everyone, we are back following up with our light language transmission that we just did. So if you haven't seen that video or received that transmission, the link is at the end of this one, as well as in the description. And we encourage you to go watch it. But we wanted to follow up doing working with some oracle cards to follow up on the messaging that came
Mm.
through with that. So Karen is ready with some cards. I know she was just shuffling, so I'm going to turn it over to her first. And this is really just for some additional guidance um, for the collective, our soul light
Yeah,
collective. Thank you for being
yeah.
here.
And it's gonna be great to see what comes through, whether we expand on outside of the message or if it's gonna be tied solely to. So we're just opening the energies and um, sharing what's best for anybody watching at this time. And the first card I'm pulling is so Diane, I get trust, right?
That's such
Trust.
a beautiful card. Oh my gosh.
Couldn't we just wish we were all there right now?
Yes.
Laying on that moonlit beach,
Reminds me of
trusting,
like
right?
Peter Pan, like the lagoon
And
and Peter
and
Pan.
I almost get this message of like trust is almost like the journey to that moonlit beach and trusting into how you got there, right? Maybe you're having experiences at nighttime. Maybe your dream sequences are starting to make a little bit more sense where they may not have been before. Um, and allowing yourself to be in that starry night sky, moon, right? That intuitiveness of the moon. She's like, there she is that great. um it's almost like I get the high priestess with the tarot cards, right? She knows everything. It's all within, it's all internal. And just as a compliment to that, I have truth. And I don't know if you can see it up here. Regardless as to what you're seeing in the card, instantly what I get is spirit above, up in the sky. To me, it looks like a guide looking down, um, and just knowing that working with our guidance and with spirit and all that we can I'm hearing excavate, right? Excavate from within us. That is the truth. That is our truth. That is truth, right? That is something that internally comes through you. And then right back to, can you trust it, right? Can you trust? Can you not be in fear? I'll give you time. I'll give you time to pull one and
Well,
see where this goes.
the first thing that came to me when I said that reminds me of like the lagoon in Peter Pan. Um, and then I was reminded I had a call with a new client earlier in the week, and one of the things she said to me was, "I feel like Peter Pan who needs his shadow sewn back on." And I thought, wow, that's such a
Wow.
great description of like being disconnected from your soul, right? From your soul space, your soul state. And so that, I love how that thing, everything kind of comes back, right? But I love the
Yeah.
colors in that. There's so much blue in both of those cards, is which I'm picking up on the is the throat chakra. And that's, I was
Wow.
working,
I'm just gonna hold them both
with the
up.
throat chakra in the light language transmission that we just did. And I think I even said the word truth, that the heart wants to speak truth, the truth wants to come out of you. And what are you suppressing? What are you suppressing that's keeping the load that you're carrying so heavy? Um, and
Mm,
are you willing to face the truth? Are you willing to face it and, like Karen said, trust it and trust in something greater than yourself that is carrying all of us in
yeah.
the exact perfect direction that we're here to be carried? And it's trusting the desires of your heart and knowing that the desires of your heart are very different from what the mind thinks it wants. The desires of your heart are what the soul comes into this world with. It's like your blueprint. It's like those are planted in there for a reason. And it's a choice. Are you going to
Mm,
follow the guidance? I mean, you hear all the time, follow your heart, follow your heart. And it's so
yeah.
true. Are you following your heart, or are you getting caught up in um, the untruths or the little t truths of the
Mm,
world that is like moving your path all over the place and not in the direction of of the heart, of trusting that path. That's what I'm getting with those. But I love both of
Yeah,
those.
beautiful.
And I have a couple decks here too. So let me just see what wants to come. If you've never worked with Oracle cards, that's what we're working with today, different Oracle cards. There's a gajillion different decks out there, and it's really just kind of what you're drawn to if you're interested in working with them. A lot of people have had fear around them in the past, and oh, is that something, as well as tarot cards, is that something I should be doing? I love,
Can I jump in there?
yes,
That was
please.
me. That was me. That was me.
Tell a little bit about that.
Because if there was fear to be had, I found it, right? That was a wall I needed to crash through. And these cards and tarot and it's fascinating because really what I use them and work with them in a beautiful way is just to open myself up more, right? Like where can the imagery, as a clairvoyant, where can the imagery like take me, right? To meet my intuitiveness, right? And then express it. So it's like a trifecta. But no, I was like, oh, they had to have angels on them. That was the only way I could use them. And
From
it's
your
just
Catholic
fascinating.
upbringing.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah. Okay, so I am gonna,
Go right ahead.
and it's really the when you're pulling them, when you're trusting your intuition. It's like you just kind of know when you touch one that that's the one that you need to see, or that needs to be. When I work with clients, I have them pull it, have them hold the deck to their heart usually and connect with the energy of it, and trusting that the information, maybe they have a specific question or not. Usually it's just, what does my soul need to hear in this moment for my greatest and highest good? And that's what our intention is. This is for the collective. We are doing these card pulls for this channel. And for all of those watching, know that this may or may not resonate with you, but the intention is to follow up with our light language video, which was all about releasing the weight. And what are you resisting? And are you ready to break that resistance to really stepping into your fullness? So the first one that's coming up is Owl Medicine. And I love the orange color of the sun coming through, summer solstice. We're in those long days of summer months. And he's so powerful. Trying to get it without the glare. See, I'm holding it the right way.
Yep, no, it's good. You can see it.
There we go. There we go. And I'm gonna, the owl is so wise, right? It's that truth. Again, he speaks truth, the owl. He has such wisdom. He holds such wisdom. And that's the medicine, right? The medicine is inside of us. The medicine is the balm of our soul and the wisdom of our soul, and trusting the guidance of our soul. Yeah, are you feeling anything with this while I pull
Yeah.
other one that's
I'm
coming
hearing
through?
I'm hearing a beautiful message about how, like if you're out in the, how do I do with that? When you're out like in the woods at night, right? It's dark and you can't see, like you will hear the owl, right? Like it's almost like that tie over to like a little bit of being in your dream state or experiencing something or having a dream that doesn't feel right, but it's like something usually comes through that's familiar, something you resonate like there's that's familiar to me, like that I'm in the woods and I hear the owl and I know everything is okay. Being in your dream state or state of solitude. I'm hearing, so I have another card sitting here that's being in a state of solitude, right? Being in that solitude and am I okay, right? Talking a little bit about that fear. Am I okay? And knowing that there's always that piece of guidance there for you.
Yes. And I did pull another one from another deck, but I'm going to hold off on bringing that one in because this one just actually jumped out of the deck. And sometimes they do that. So smudging ceremony. And I don't know if you can see, this is a abalone shell on a rock,
Yeah, there you go.
with the sage being burned, and that beautiful sky, the clouds, similar to the sky that you held up. on your card of truth. I believe it was the truth card. You want to hold
Yeah.
that one up again. We always look at the
So funny.
similarities and look at the
Can,
colors.
can I jump in and say
Yes.
I was even afraid of smudging? Like, oh, what is
What
this?
is
What are these
that?
people
Yeah.
doing? What is
Yeah.
that?
Smudging. What is it? Right? Let's
And
talk about smudging for a
yeah,
minute. What is smudging?
right.
Smudging
I'm
is
just
a,
reaching over.
a
Like I have mine right
clearing.
here.
There she goes. And you
So
have, is it sage
I
or
use
Palo Santo?
I use Palo Santo. I
That's what
also
I
have sage in
use.
here. And I
I'm
have
not
sand from my local beach. I keep that in here to keep that earthy tone.
nice.
And
I'm
I've
not a
learned over time just that smoke, right? Like that it's like the ether, right? That's that other element of air that you can bring in to support you, not to scare you, to support you.
yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
residual, you know,
well,
so
going back to the Catholic Church, right? Don't they walk around with the incense,
yeah,
the burning
the
of the incense, the
incense, it's the
smoking?
same thing.
Right, right. So, and you can use, I don't care for the smell of burning sage, so I use Palo Santo, like Karen
Yeah.
showed. It's a kind of a wood, but it's clearing the energy. I also use selenite, and I have a
I
selenite
have
wand
sprays.
here too,
Yeah.
that you can use, and this just picks up negative energy, clears the space, holding the intention. So what do you need to clear out in your life? And you don't need to literally go burning sage in your house if you're not ready to do that. That's totally okay. But it's an invitation. What do you need to clear in order for newness to come in? Maybe it's a cluttered drawer that you drives you crazy every time you see it, or maybe it's like, environmental clutter in your home, or maybe your computer is just cluttered with emails that you need to go through, or photos. It could be your car. It could be your office space. It could be your mind. How many different thoughts are cluttering up your mind, keeping you from being in that flow state? Um, Again, the water came through in the card, and I know that that came through in the light language transmission that we did, being in that flow state, not resisting, being open to your truth and open to um, the calling of your soul. But we have to clear out what's not serving us in order for those new energies to flow more easily. And anything else you want to add
Yeah.
about these
No,
two?
yeah. There's a lot of thought and people who speak about, like who can speak more eloquently than I on the thoughts of using smudging as a clearing tool. That's not, we're not here promoting pro or against. I just want to say that.
That's right.
There
It's
goes
all
my
a
voice a
choice.
little bit,
It's all a
all a
choice.
choice. I did, it's so fascinating because this card wants to come up so strong and I'm not sure why, but we're just going to go with the flow, right? We're just going to keep moving along. So the next card I pulled was karmic justice, right? Karmic justice. I'm just going to hold that up a little bit. And the beat, like there's that beetle, the beautiful beetle. I know, again, another imagery that used to be like, that must not be something good. But I want to talk about that because like karma coming through, a lot of times there's this concept of like bringing things through from our past lives, Diane, or bringing things through that we're here to clear in this lifetime. Speaking of clearing, right? Lightening up, letting go of things. What's the word? I want to say familial clearing. Like we're here in this time,
Generational.
generational. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're kind of the end of the line, whether we know it or not. You will know, you will feel it. You will be looking around you at your line, your familial line, your generations of. We just brought up the Catholic Church, right? There was a big one for me. Um, Needing to step into solitude, right? Needing to have trust, needing to seek my truth, right? And feeling that I'm reaching this point of karmic justice in my journey, and there's that invitation for you to say, this is what I want to say, like that heaviness, right? We're talking about feeling that heaviness and where to let go. And can you trust? I'm reaching for the trust card again. Can you trust that it can be done? it can be so light and let go so easily at this point. We are at this point in these energies on this timeline, is that a good way to put it?
Yeah,
Um, that these things are ready to go, right? They're ready to be cleared. They're ready to go, and we don't need to carry them on. And we can actually free ourselves of the, ooh, my ear is ringing. Ooh, we can free ourselves finally of that burden, and you can just trust that that's happening. Yeah, I think that's a big concept of stories we've been handed. And oh, there goes my chest. Wow, the energy's so strong today.
mhm, yeah,
Can you receive that? Can you receive that? That it's time. It's time to receive your justice, and it's time to let that karmic go. Um,
absolutely.
yeah, I have another card, but I'm going to wait and see where you go.
Yeah, well, I'm going to bring back this one that I pulled too. So simplicity, right? And
Say,
it's all about deep, profound serenity is expanding in my life. Well, when we're surrounded with, you know, that we need to clear, whether it's physical stuff or mental stuff or generational stuff, um, we have a really hard time feeling that serenity, right?
mm,
And so, living more simply, living more cleanly, living more consciously, um, more purposefully, bringing more simplicity into your life, bringing in, I love to bring in nature into my home, whether it's plants, flowers, shells, rocks, you name it. I have a lot of feathers. I have
flowers.
a lot of that in my home, and bringing in that the energy of the natural world into your space just feels like you can feel the energy of that. You might not feel it if you have a house that's really cluttered with a lot of other stuff, though. Um, but coming back to simplicity, like going through your closets, like, do you really need to keep clothes that are 20 years old? I know people that do, that hold on to, that if you don't love it, if you haven't worn it in the past year, let it go, bless it, whatever it is, if it's clothing or a material item, just bless it for what it's given you and release it lovingly to somebody else who needs
Yeah.
it. That's a beautiful, beautiful practice. But just getting simple, getting more simple with really taking a look at your whole life. Karen and I stopped coloring our hair a few years ago, right? And that has been so liberating. Like simplify. Gosh, it's so nice not to have to like worry about coloring my hair every whatever, four
Yeah,
weeks, 6 weeks. You might not be ready for that, and that's okay, but
it's
it's
okay.
just an example, right? Just some examples. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's go
I'm
back to the one that you and again,
right.
this blue, this beautiful blue, the throat chakra, your truth, right? We're not you I remember hearing once, you can't take a U-Haul to heaven. So like why accumulate all this stuff? When it's just
There's
gonna be a burden to somebody else someday.
I think there's a whole business surrounding people coming in to clear out your family home when
Oh
you
yeah.
pass for you.
My daughter
Um,
does that for people.
right. Just patience, right? There's that. And when Diane, it's so funny because when it's so fascinating. So here's this beautiful, is this a heron? We were talking, I took a picture of
Yes.
an animal, this
Yes,
bird.
that is
This
a
is the
heron.
heron.
Yes.
And a heron flying
And
over my
you
home.
saw one, yes. I saw one yesterday actually flying
Yeah.
in the sky too.
But I'm so focused on the fact that we were just talking about like lightening up, right? Letting
Mm,
go
mm, just that freedom.
and the freedom of that. And here's this beautiful white. This goes back to the hair color with that little bit of the dark left, right? There's that beautiful um oh like how do I put that? It took a lot of patience, Diane, during a very social time of being around people who were dedicated to the salon. Nothing wrong with it. I love my salon,
No,
and
no, I
and
loved all my hairstylists over the years.
being able to stand in my truth of no, this is I need to show who I am, right? I need to almost like match my I'm
Walk
seeing the
your
sage.
talk.
Right, right. I felt like I looked too young with my dark hair. My teenagers were coming up, and I was like, no, I need to like step into my sage, right?
Mm.
My match my avatar. Maybe that's a good word.
Yeah.
But it took a lot of patience, and it took a long time. And I never chopped it. A lot of people chopped it. I never chopped mine. I literally grew it out inch by inch. But through that process, I learned a lot about myself. There were so many days I had to look in the mirror, take that deep breath, like, you're okay, you're okay, you're okay, as I had orange oxidized hair dye growing out. But there was that internal strengthening that I went through by having that patience to go through that. And no one ever stopped me and said, "Oh, look at your pretty dark hair." My ego loves that. But people do stop me and say, "Look at they," and they see a piece of themselves in you when they stop you and they say, "Your hair is beautiful. I love your white streaks. I love how your hair is. Oh, you're so lucky." And I always respond with, it was a long time. It took a long time. And it's a process. Like you don't, and a lot of people get to go to the salon and take the shorts, shortcuts. And my internalness was, this is part of your growth, right? This is part of your expansion. And I'm just better for having gotten to know myself on a new level. I think that's where I want to go with that.
Yeah. Yeah. That,
And I'm so sorry, I'm jumping in. And I'm going to follow up, but this was the card that I've been holding, Finding Love. Right? Oh, those little seahorses. But right,
I
there's
love
that
it.
there's the mirror and the mirrored reflection. And where do we need to seek love? I did not need to seek love.
And the Merkaba.
Oh gosh, yeah, I didn't even see that.
If
Um,
you
there's
want to
so
talk about
much. There's
that,
just the
there's a lot in that
artistry,
card. Yeah.
right? And my point was that like I had to love myself through that, right? I had to face myself in the mirror and be like, okay, you're okay. This is just who you are. This is that personality version, that layer, that energetic layer of my personality. And if I can't love her, right? Yes, beautiful.
This just came up or jumped out at me too. So this is emerging. I am emerging into the light with joy and with ease. My feet are lifting up to the sun, to the light, blossoming like a flower. And that's what we do when we step into releasing to, and we have another video on letting go. We'll link that at the end
Mm.
too. But gosh, such beautiful messaging coming through. You getting anything else that you want to share?
Yeah, I just want to,
I've been seeing so many butterflies lately.
right there, and the message I'm hearing so
Beautiful
loud and clear.
community.
These are a lot
Mm,
of personal stories Diane and I are talking about, and things that we've been through and how we've worked through that. But there's that beautiful message of we never have to go through it alone, right?
that's
And
right.
when you think you're going through it alone, and you're on that beach alone at night with just the moon and having to trust like so deeply within as all of this is coming in, and trusting that you're letting all these things go, and then you find yourself kind of like at the top on a rock, right? Like the top of the mountain. And you're like, where am I? Where is everyone else? Right? Am I
Yeah.
alone?
Yeah.
And you're not, right? So like there's so much value in seeking out your community, because so many are going through this. And there was definitely a time on my journey where I thought, I'm the only person in the world this is happening to. I'm going crazy. Nobody else is going through this. And you seek outward, like, where is everybody? There has to be more.
Yeah.
And you find your community. You find them.
You do. And that I'm gonna just jump in and say, before Karen and I recorded today, we were actually talking about because this is a community, this whole like collective, but perhaps we would love your feedback. Would you like us to hold a monthly community call on
Mhm.
Zoom where you could get on with us
Yeah.
and share? It's something we're feeling into as our channel's growing. We're feeling like we want to connect more with those of you who are
Mm.
tuning in, and let's build this together. Like, what are you looking for? Do you
Yeah.
want to join an online community? I know a lot of people don't want to join any more online communities, and that's okay. People are seeking in-person stuff out. But Karen, if you don't know, Karen lives in New England, and I'm down south. So we met in the corporate world many years ago before I moved down here, but have been divinely connected again, and guided to create this platform. But it's not just for us. It is, we are here for you, and we would love to build more on this community. So let us know. Let us know in the comments. What would you like to receive from this and from this community? Let's build it
Yeah.
together. Um,
Beautiful.
yeah.
That was great. I would love to keep coming back and doing more of these.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and that beautiful messaging coming through your cards and the cards that I was guided to pull. Again, we're going to leave the link to the light language video transmission that we did before we got on with the cards to bring in more messaging. So if you're not familiar with light language, we'll also, I don't know how many video links, I think we can link a lot, but we'll put them in the description of the different ones that you can check out related to this one. And we hope you stay tuned, subscribe to our channel, share it, like this video, leave your comments, questions as always. And we are so glad to be with you. We love you so much, and we'll see you in the
Thank
next
you.
one. Take care.